Hey guys, so today's tutorial is going to be Earl Grey sugar cookies, which I'm super excited about, but I'm kind of bummed because the only reason I'm making them is because I messed up another recipe. I want to teach you guys how to make a no-churn ice cream with only 2 ingredients. You can make it at home, super easy, but I messed it up. So because I overwhipped my cream and I already had some Earl Grey in there trying to make a super fun ice cream, we are going to use my Earl Grey butter in order to make Earl Grey sugar cookies today. But don't fret if you don't have Earl Grey butter because you didn't mess everything up like me. I'll show you a simple way to incorporate your Earl Grey without having to go through all of the process of making ice cream first. The first thing I'm going to do in a separate bowl is put all of my dry ingredients. So my flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And then I'm just going to mix them together and put them to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is in my mixing bowl fitted with a paddle attachment, I'm going to mix my butter and my sugar. Now, I didn't have enough of my Earl Grey butter, so I used half Earl Grey butter and half regular butter. Now, if you don't have Earl Grey butter because you didn't mess up a bunch of recipes like I did, you can just use regular butter here and add in your 2 tea bags of Earl Grey tea at this point. Now, I didn't have enough, so I added 1 extra bag of Earl Grey tea in with my butters because, again, I only had half Earl Grey butter and half regular butter. Now, you're going to let these whip for 5 minutes. I know it seems like a really long time, but the more light and fluffy this is now, the better it will be once you finish making your cookies. Once the 5 minutes is up, you'll see that this is going to get nice and light and fluffy. The butter itself will have lightened in color because of all the air that we're beating into it. Once it gets to this point, we want to make sure we scrape down the bowl. And the reason that we do that is because if I add the eggs now, when some of the butter's on the sides and some of it's at the bottom, you won't get an even mix. So we want to make sure that we scrape down the paddle in the bowl so that everything that we have in there is at the bottom. I'm going to add in my egg yolks and then add in a splash of vanilla. If you don't want to add the vanilla, it's kind of optional here because we are going for just an Earl Grey flavor in these cookies. And then we're going to let this mix again for 5 more minutes. I know it seems tedious, but the lighter this butter gets, the better it will be. Now we can add in our dry ingredients, which we've already mixed together, and we're just going to pulse them in. For this part, you want to do it very, very slowly and only pulse it until it is just combined. Now, if you just want plain Earl Grey cookies, you can stop right here. Don't go any further, and you can scoop these onto your tray. If you do want to do other add-ins or you want to divide your batter to do some with add-ins and some without, this is the time to divide your batter. Once you've divided up your batter, you can start scooping it. So for the plain ones, I've just scooped my Earl Grey cookies and then dipped them into a coarse sugar. So once they bake, they will have that sugar on top. For my second set, I added chocolate chips, and for my third set, I'm adding frozen blueberries. Once these are all scooped out, you want to pop these in the fridge for an hour. Once they're nice and chilled, you can put them onto a baking sheet and get them ready for the oven. Now, you do want to give these room to spread, about 2 to 3 inches between each one, and you don't want to crowd the pan, otherwise you're going to end up with a giant cookie pancake rather than beautiful, chewy, delicious Earl Grey cookies. So they'll still look a little puffy when you're taking them out of the oven, but once they cool, they'll get nice, flat, and crinkly. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments or send me a DM.